Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're going to be taking a look at Armaf's Odyssey Homme Black Edition. Alright, so Odyssey Homme Black Edition is from the House of Armaf. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick up a 100ml bottle of this bad boy for about $23 to $30 at various discounters. I'll have some links down below if you decide you want to check this one out. Now, I call this Black Edition because there is actually a white edition that's called White Edition. This is just called Odyssey Homme, but there is an Odyssey Homme White Edition. I've already done a full review of that. If you want to check that out, there will be a link down in the description so you can go check that out. So this is Armaf Odyssey Homme, but it is in a black bottle, so I call it the Black Edition. Now, before we go any further with any presentation, any review of a fragrance, we have to talk about the bottle. And Armaf, they never seem to outdo themselves. They always like to throw a curveball, give you a fun, weird, crazy presentation, and this is no exception. I don't mind crazy Armaf bottles. I think if you've been following this channel for a bit, you know that I have no taste maybe in bottle presentation, but I don't mind this so much. But it is weird. It's just like a coffee thermos that you commute to work with or something like that. And you would think this would be a flip cap because it has this strap right here, but oh no. Armaf is just gonna not do that because that's what Armaf does. But moving into the fragrance, because that's what matters here. It matters what's on the inside, right? That's the philosophy of Post Cologne. It's what's on the inside that counts. And so we're gonna check out this fragrance. Now the opening on this is a very strong top note of alcohol. And so we're gonna have to wait a second, so just bear with me. Yep, no, it's still there. All right, so like after about 30 seconds, the alcohol does die off. That's gonna happen with cheaper fragrances. Like I said, $23, $30 for this. It is an Armaf. Put that alcohol aside, it does dissipate fairly quick. And what you do get as soon as this opens up is like a beautiful vanilla, amber, and iris that comes there. It's a very sweet vanilla, and it's a very, thick, dark sort of amber that comes through, and the iris, for me, it comes across a little lipsticky, and I think it's because of that amber that's in there. I think that amber just kind of adds like a little bit of resinous notes to that iris. So it's not necessarily like an overpowering lipsticky iris or anything to that nature, but for me, it does come across a little on the lipsticky side. Not too much, it's not overbearing. If you like iris fragrances though, you're really gonna enjoy this opening. As this kind of opens up, it takes a few minutes for this to kind of open up, and it does change a little bit. That vanilla stays there, and that amber stays there, and that iris stays there. But what happens is some spices start to come through, and it becomes more of like a spiced vanilla, and it kind of morphs into like a Coca-Cola vibe, or even like a root beer sort of vibe that comes through with this. And it's really quite nice. I really enjoy that, how it kind of transitions into that sort of almost effervescence, but like very cola, root beery style scent profile. To my nose, I actually get there's a brief period of time where I always get like a hint of chocolate. I don't know if it's because I maybe smelt it one time and there was a hint of chocolate and now my brain just associates it with that, but I get a hint of chocolate in there. But for the most part, it's like a spiced vanilla, Coca-Cola root beer vibe that's in the mid. And then as this starts to dry down, it maintains that sort of vibe, but it adds some like creaminess to it. So it gets very, very creamy, has like there is a leather note in this, but it doesn't come across leathery. It's like a soft suede with like a little bit of florals that get mixed into it. So it kind of becomes a very creamy, vanilla, spicy iris style fragrance, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I love how this dries down. I love the opening, I love the mid, but the dry down of this is just absolutely gorgeous. I just can't tell you how much I enjoy this. Performance on this is pretty good. Off my skin, I get at least 8 hours, no problem. If you spray this on your clothing, you're gonna smell it until the next morning. For a projection, it's not a beast mode projector. It lasts a decent amount of time, but I'd say for the first 2 hours, it pushes out pretty good. And then it settles into a nice cozy scent bubble around you, and that'll stick around for quite a while, because like I said, I get about 8 hours of longevity off of this. Now this fragrance is definitely a fall and winter style fragrance. I love wearing this in the cooler weather, especially in the winter. I find this just pushes through the cold like mad, and it just gives me that, it's just a perfect winter vibe style fragrance. And I live somewhere where it's friggin' cold. It gets ridiculous cold where I'm from, and like for a fragrance to perform, it better be performing, because we're not dealing with just your average cold here. It gets friggin' cold where I'm from, and this pushes through that cold no problem. I find it actually might even do better in the cold at times. I might be just making that up, but I think it does. I love wearing this in the winter. You can wear this casually, but I find, for me at least, I like to wear this kind of date night, evening out. That's the kind of vibe I get from this because of that sweetness, that spiciness, and that hint of florals with that iris that's mixed in there, and that soft suede creaminess. It just kind of has that sensual, sweet, sexy vibe to it, and that's what I get from Armaf Odyssey Black Edition, is just more of that date night, sensual sort of fragrance from it. And in the wintertime, perfect for cozying up. Absolutely banger of a fragrance. I love wearing this in the cold weather. So if you're looking for more of a vanilla, ambery, slightly spicy, little bit of iris, creamy, warm, winter style fragrance, I think you do great with Armaf Odyssey Homme the Black Edition. For the price point of, what would I say, $23 to $30 at various discounters, I think this is a steal of a deal. It's a very safe fragrance. It's not very challenging. It's not overly complex. You're not gonna offend anybody with this fragrance. There's no notes in here that are gonna be just like, what the hell is that? Very easy. It's a very easy dumb reach sort of wear. I'd hate telling people it's blind buy worthy because do your research, don't take my word for it, go look it up, do your thing. But I think for me it was blind buying. This was a blind buy when I checked out the notes, and I'm happy about it. It was a great pickup for me. I'm glad this is my collection. One of my favorites from the Armafs, and if you haven't got your nose on it, I think you should. That's Armaf Odyssey Homme Black Edition. And I want to hear from you guys. Have you tried Armaf's Odyssey Homme Black Edition? What did you think? Are you curious about this one? If you haven't, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Also, let me know give me some recos on the House of Armaf. What's something you think I should be checking out that might not be in my collection? Leave a comment down below. I love getting recommendations from you guys. You guys are awesome. I read all your comments, so appreciate you. Do that. Go comment below. Hit me up. Tell me what I should buy from Armaf. I kind of like Armaf. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.